Blessed second Sunday in Lent 2025, and we continue with our Lent through with Padre Pio series, which is really just a continuation of the periodic writings of Padre Pio that I would bring for you during the rest of the liturgical year. Figured Padre Pio would be a good choice when you hear what he is saying in his private letters that were published upon his passing. These letters were written to his spiritual director, and they give you a glimpse into the relationship a saint has with his own salvation. The very concept, we sometimes see accounts of saints who knew ahead of time that they would spend their eternity with God. Fair enough, I suppose, but most of the saints that I've read the writings of believe themselves to be the most wretched of all sinners, because they knew that they understood God and the faith a little more than the rest of us did. And with that, they got greater insight into their own sinfulness and their own absolute necessity of relying on the grace of God. You see that here with Padre Pio, who already was known as being kind of a firebrand, if you will, not in his public statements about things, but in the reputation he had received for being able to read souls and to how he treated people in the confessional. If they did not make what he considered a good confession, he would refuse to absolve them and send them out of the confessional. Many such stories of this are out there. Let me know in the comments if you know of any of those stories and give a brief synopsis of one if you'd like. He took salvation very seriously. And in Lent, we're supposed to take our salvation very seriously as well. Here's Padre Pio to his spiritual director. My Father, my spirit is naked and wretched. My heart is arid and dried up toward its God. There is hardly any movement in them towards him who, out of his goodness, created them. I have hardly any faith at all. When the height of the storm rages and the overflowing measure of my wretchedness crushes me, I am powerless to raise myself up on the wings of hope, a virtue so necessary for abandonment to God. I am without charity. Loving God is a consequence of full knowledge, with an active faith. It is also a consequence of the promises into which the soul plunges, finds itself, abandons itself, and in which it rests in sweet hope. I have no charity towards my neighbor, because this sort of love is a consequence of love of God. And lacking the latter, all the life-giving sap descends from the branches, and every branch dies. Yes, I am lacking in everything, O Father, without even the semblance of virtue. I seem to be in a state of fatal lukewarmness, and because of this, God justly pushes me further and further from his heart. I see that my ruin is irreparable, because I can see no way out. Alas, I have lost every path, every means, every support, every rule. And if I try to rekindle my burnt-out memory, a mysterious scattering occurs, and I become more lost than before, more powerless to raise myself, and the mysterious darkness thickens. My God, why do you shake and tear the soul, wrapped in clouds and already shaken and confused, with such violence? This soul whose destruction is worked, caused, and wished for by your own command and permission. I declare myself, denying my every wish and knowledge, everything I want and know. I declare myself the most obedient son of my guide in these rigorous ways of the Most High. Is there anything more to say? There certainly is. I ask for strength in my suffering, stripped and bare of all your comfort, that these unconscious but nonetheless greatly desired resolutions might be made more constant and firm and fruitful, at least sufficiently so that your fury is disarmed. Accept them as offerings, my highest good, to your outraged majesty, but only after you have given them your value with your divine virtue. Meanwhile, I will strive to find a way of coping with my awful suffering on this bed of sharp and cruel thorns, taken from your hands the food of your rejection and abandonment. I search for God, but where can I find him? Every idea of God as Lord, Master, Creator, Love, and Life has faded. He has completely flown, and I, alas, am lost in the thickest of thickest darkness, going over the scattered remembrance of a lost love again and again, and not able to love any more. Oh, my good, where are you? I have lost you. I have become lost by looking for you. because you accepted the open offer I made you. You have taken everything that was mine, and you hold it in complete majesty. I entrust myself to you, and I hope that you will watch over me as I abandon myself completely to the most agonizing release of love. My God, the only lament which I can express the bitterness of my heart, in which I see myself condemned, is this: why have you abandoned me? The modest efforts to hold out, which were made with such ferocious enthusiasm, were in vain. I have no more life. I am not able to bear it any longer or hold out. I must live by you, in you, and with you, or I die. Life or death. I am terrified, and I do not know how to push on until who knows when. How long will this terrible time continue? How can I tell you about the most tormenting sorrow that martyrs my soul? From Thursday I have felt more filled with an extreme anxiety than ever before. I feel that the Lord's hand lies more heavily on me. I feel that the Lord is demonstrating all his powers when he punishes me, and like a leaf carried away by the wind, I am rejected and pursued. Alas, I cannot go on. I can bear no longer the weight of his justice. I feel myself crushed beneath his powerful hand. Tears are my daily bread. I am agitated. I search for him, but I find him only in the fury of his justice. O my Father, with complete justification, I can say with the prophet, I have come into deep waters, and the storm has submerged me. I have cried and wearied myself in vain. I have become hoarse in vain. Fear and trembling have overcome me, and darkness has covered me entirely. I am stretched out on the bed of my pain, full of woes, seeking my God. But where is he to be found? From my bed of pain and my prison of atonement, I am in vain trying to come forth into life. My God, I have lost my way, and I have lost you. But where can I find you again? Or have I lost you forever? Have you condemned me to live far from your face forever? My Father, help me with your prayers and the prayers of others. How I would prefer not to have to suffer this most bitter sorrow. I have left everything to please God, and I would have given life 1,000 times to assure him of my love. And now, O God, how bitter it is to feel in my heart that he is angered with me. I am not able. I cannot find peace in my misfortune. My heart moves irresistibly towards the Lord with all its energy, but an iron hand always pushes me away. Imagine someone shipwrecked, holding a plank from the ship, whom every surge or gust of wind threatens to drown. Or better, imagine my present state as being, like some unhappy person condemned to death who waits to be taken to the scaffold. My state causes me to suffer even in the depth of night, where more than ever I strike to find my God. I thank God, however, that no news of my state gets out. I have spent and spend hours that are terrible and sorrowful. They think me dead at every turn, both physically and morally. God is unknown to my spirit. O good of my soul, where are you? Where have you hidden yourself? Where can I find you? Where should I search for you? Do you not see, Jesus, that my soul wants to see you at any price? It seeks you in every place, but you allow yourself to be found only in the fullness of your fury, where you fill with the greatest disturbance and bitterness, leading it to believe how much it belongs to you. Who could express the seriousness of my position? All the things that are clear to me when reflected in your light, I am unable to express in human language. And when I want to stammer something out, the soul thinks it has erred, and that it is more than ever distant from the truth of the matter. My God, are you lost to me forever? I desire to cry out and lament at the top of my voice. But I'm very weak, and my strength has deserted me. And what will I ever be able to achieve if I am not able to make my lament ascend to your throne? My God, why have you abandoned me? And that was Padre Pio, writing to his spiritual confessor, his spiritual advisor. But in reality, he's clearly writing to God. He's using the opportunity to pour out his spirit, as it were, to his spiritual director, to letting him know what is going on in his inner turmoil. Does this sound familiar to you? If this is the kind of thing that is put into more poetic language, perhaps, than most of us are capable of writing, let me know in the comments if this is something that you're familiar with yourself. I know to a degree I am too. We become our own best accusers, and in some ways that is a good thing. We should be our own best accuser, for we are the only one who truly knows what sins we are guilty of, aside from, of course, God. But for most of us, we need to be more careful. After all, we are not saints, as Padre Pio was. At least most of us aren't. I certainly am not. And the accuser will also whisper things into our ear. Let me know what you think of this in the comments, please. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't. It certainly helps. So does sharing this on social media. That helps too. And as always, pray for the church. I'm Anthony Stine. Ave Maria.